Hello there, mosh pit there, crazies in the backstage area. I'm Joe Panther the Third, and this is episode 1, part 2 of the Sabrina.
Backstage Melee.
Yes, the Backstage Melee podcast. Sorry about this, Sabrina.
But I do want to focus on our guest today because we have one of the best managers, if not the best manager in independent wrestling, Hellfire McGuire. How are you doing today, sir?
I am terrific. You guys caught me at an excellent time. It's been a nonstop party for about 2 weeks here. And I'm just this is my first appointment getting back to real life. So, yeah, nice to be on.
Yeah, awesome. We're glad to have you as our first guest. I mean, like, you were definitely at the top of my list because I've seen you at MCW and just like your vibe coming out. I was like, the pink suit with the blue shoes, kind of a vibe.
Yep.
Kind of a vibe.
Well, you've got great taste. So, I'll give you that.
Yeah. So, for our fans, like, that are from, like, the East Coast, but they, like, kind of focus on different wrestling. So, like, when did you really get into the game? What's your story?
So I got in about a year and a half ago, getting close to 2 years now, really seriously. I was doing the nightclub thing, and that sort of dried up with the pandemic. And so during that time when it was rebooting, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do next, and landed on wrestling and landed here in Maryland because it's just a hotbed for it. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun since.
Awesome. Wow. So you're kind of like you're new-ish to it, right?
Newish, yeah, definitely. There's a lot of people who would say that, but I mean, I've had about as much success as a person can have in that time, if not more. So I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're new-ish. You have TikToks that are made about you because I mean, like, we found those the other day. So, like, I mean, you're kind of making it. Once you make it on TikTok, that's it.
Then you've made it, right? Yeah.
Right. Then you've made it.
Yeah.
So we've talked about this, but like, have you wanted to just be a wrestler, or did you always want to be just a manager?
I'm in this for the money and to get beat up as little as possible. So that's what drew me to the managing, and that's the part I like the most. Now that's I have wrestled, and when the situation calls for it, then I will step in the ring, but I don't like to do that because I like my face the way it is.
As you should. You manage Miami Mike in MCW.
Yes, I do.
So how did that come about? Like, how did you guys come to work together?
Well, I got to Baltimore, Joppa area, just because I had heard so much about MCW and how great the talent was there. And he was, as he said at the time, up next. Like, he was an incredible talent that had really yet to be discovered when we first linked up. And so that's I got in, I saw what he could do, and that's when we started working together, and we've had a really great time. We've become really great friends too.
Well, that's good. Like, you guys have that closeness, because like I see that you guys have, like, when you guys come out, you have a dance that you do, and it's like very in sync. So I mean, it's a good fit because like he is part of like the post game with Vinny, so like the party doesn't stop with those two. So the fact that
it does not.
You're saying the party doesn't stop. It's a party every day.
All the time. And that guy, he works hard and he plays even harder. So he can manage it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Joe. Sorry, I've been talking so much.
It's okay. That's cool.
I just feel so excited.
Conversation with the wrestler. It's always makes everybody nice and calm, like a shot of vodka in the morning. So, like, have you ever traveled anywhere else in the country or the states? What other states are on your like wish list?
Like, I've been up and down the East Coast a little bit. Yeah, I've mostly been to shows, doing a lot of scouting. And that's, sort of Jersey, Delaware, New York, Massachusetts. Just I keep to that area, but the mic stuff keeps me pretty busy. We will get out and around. We've been up to Pennsylvania once or twice, but that's about the extent of it. Yeah, other than that, it's been specifically East Coast. Down to Florida once for a little seminar tryout deal, but that's about it. That's about it so far.
I was gonna say, you didn't say PA at first. I was like, what? You don't want to come to PA? We're cool people. PPW. Just saying. We have.
You're all right.
We have a good manager, Mr. Ruda at PPW, but I think that you could give him a run for his money because
I have no doubt I could. I've
you know what
never
I
seen
mean?
him,
Like,
never heard of him, and I'm pretty sure I could.
you know, he just doesn't wear the swag that you do. Like, he doesn't come out with the swag. He comes out
He
with like
does, though.
beach shorts, you know? It's not as
Oh,
exciting.
see, Miami Mike used to do that, but then I turned him around.
Yeah, well, he's okay. I'll give it to you. Like, you manage him. He's a great wrestler, but he's okay. He's all right.
Great doesn't begin to describe it. If I don't know what our time limit is here, but if you have another couple hours free, I'll go off on Miami Mike because that guy is an incredible talent, and you're going to be
And
seeing
if
a lot
you
of
have
him.
the time, I could go off on Miami Mike, but I'll be nice in this episode.
You say that now, we'll see.
So, like, has there been a time where you're like at the ring and a fan's just giving you banter? Like, do you banter with the fans, or do you try to focus on the match as much as possible?
You know, I do try to, like, I'm out there to do a job. I have to focus. But they some of the things they say, they're nattering behind me the whole time, and I'm recently I've recently turned a new leaf, I'll say. I'm coming to a bit of an understanding with the fans. We're getting along a little better recently, but they have given me a lot of trouble in the past. And it's distracting. It's distracting. And it has caused difficulty. But, you know, nothing we haven't been able to overcome. And like I say, we're, you know, getting along a little better these days. I'm just in such a good mood.
You know, it's crazy because in certain shows that I've seen in MCW, it's either they love you guys or they hate you. And it's never like a middle thing. So when I saw you guys in Perryville, this was when you got kicked out of the match. If you don't remember that, that's
I
do. And all I heard was Miami, Miami. And I was like, okay, so here they love him, but like there's places that he's, especially MCW, like it's a crowd thing. You never know what's gonna happen. It depends on who he's facing that night. You know what I mean?
That's definitely part of it. I mean, you can really tell which fans have good taste and which ones are complete idiots. And he's sort of a good litmus test for that. But, you know, he's, again, we're both in such good moods lately that I think you're going to hear a lot more people chanting his name rather than booing kind of going forward.
Absolutely. Because I saw the Shamrock. I mean, he won the Shamrock. And like,
right.
you know, obviously you're doing something good. If you're his manager, you're doing something good if he's doing this well.
What can I say? Yeah, it's I mean, it speaks for itself, and I get, you know, a lot of flack from other wrestlers about, you know, you're not the one stepping in there, or you're not the one doing the dirty work. You're just, but I'm, you know, I'm behind the scenes. I'm making the deals. I'm out there when the matches are going on, and the results speak for themselves.
I just love your phone case when you come out with that pink phone case. And you're like, I'm like, you don't touch that phone at all. You just have it to carry. And I'm like, can you like do something? Like, can you just?
Hey, I've gotten important calls on that phone mid-match. It's very important that I have it with me. Doesn't happen often, but when it does, I need to be there.
I guess I don't watch you enough to see that you use the phone. I don't know.
Don't say that to me. Don't say that to me. We got off on such a good foot.
Usually I'm watching, nice. Honestly, I'm usually watching your client. I'm sorry. I'm usually watching your client in the ring doing the work. Do you want me to focus
well, you should be.
Right, exactly.
Doesn't matter to me what you watch because the money's rolling in either way.
Okay, I see. I thought we were friends. No.
So did I. So did I.
But like, is there a manager like in wrestling that you've seen and you're like, I inspire to be them, or like I've gotten some of my characteristics from them, or a wrestler?
I wouldn't go as far as to say that. There's definitely some I admire. Like getting into this game, I took a look at sort of the greats, the Bobby Heenans, the Jimmy Harts, the Jim Cornettes, Sherry Martel, Slick. I could go on and on. I've got a real soft spot for Larry Sweeney from ROH too, and Chikara. He was a lot of fun, and he made a lot of money, and that's what I'm looking to do. So that's a guy I like to copy. I'm Uncle Don Callis, also big fan of his, and his shoe game's getting better. He's maybe competing with me these days. So yeah, I quite like what he's got going on.
However, you say you're after the money, but there's also another manager in MCW that comes out with wads of cash. Should we bring up Cassius tonight?
We can talk about Cassius if you like. We haven't we've had nothing but friendly, cordial, professional run-ins to date. I have no problem with him, and he's obviously got a lot of money. I mean, he's doing something right, and he's got impressive clients himself. So, yeah, definitely a guy I could keep an eye on and maybe take some things from.
I mean, I think that I would love to see like maybe one day y'all coming together, you know, Mike joining their like little group and you guys having like this big army, or a battle with you and Cassius down the road.
Well, I mean, we could see about that. There's a lot of there'd be a lot of money involved in it one way or the other.
Right.
But yeah, no, he'd be great to work with. I mean, you don't get to be the number 2 manager in MCW for nothing. So yeah, great job to him.
Now you mainly manage Mike, but there are other ones that you manage. Like you've managed Dick Dynamo and Action Andretti for one match.
Yeah,
right?
just recently. Mm-hmm.
How like is it, I mean, obviously Mike's one of your top, but like how was it coming out with the others? Like is the experience like is it different coming out with Mike versus them, or is it like kind of the same?
Oh, certainly. No, I've got we've got the friendship, we've got the vibe, we've got the countless nights of partying behind us. With me and Mike, it's it's effortless almost. Dick Dynamo was a tough relationship. He got me out of a jam, and so I stuck by him for as long as I could. But that I I could only handle him for so long. And Action, I've had run-ins with Action Andretti in the past, and before it was just this past weekend. Before then, I didn't want to see him ever again, maybe. So we definitely, took a minute to kind of settle things down between us and get business done. And he had a great match, and they came out with the win. So what more could you want?
I know. And obviously now you have beef with Mecca because of something that happened in Perryville that, So, I mean, I would love to see you in the ring with Mecca. I would just love to see it.
The longer I can stay out of that guy's way, the better. He says he's a locomotive, and he means it. All respect to everything he's been able to do in the business, but I stared into his eyes, and it was truly terrifying.
Scary dude. Bad temper.
Yeah.
You know who you should manage? Rembrandt. You should try to get Rembrandt on your camp.
I've seen. Yeah.
The name.
You don't like it? You don't like it? Look, if the money's right, I'm there.
I know, but I'm trying.
That's the important part.
My thing is, you're going for the money. I'm going for the vibe. You know what I mean? Like I'm going for like who's more your vibe. And I don't know, man. Rembrandt's more of like he's a loner, but who I can't stand, and we're gonna go on because this is our podcast. I cannot stand the manager of Zuko.
Ronnie.
Yes, I would love to see
Ronnie Zuko.
Yeah, I know. He's a good guy. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, but I mean, as a manager, like if I look at you and I look at him as a manager, like the vibe and the charisma that you bring to the ring and like the facial expressions and the interaction is so there. But with him, I don't see it as much. So it's like you have the bar set high at MCW. So it's going to be kind of hard for anybody to top you right now. So it's like, I don't like any other managers right now at MCW. So.
All right. Well, that's a nice compliment. I think, and we'll say we're at about level now. We're back to 0, so we'll see how it goes from here.
We'll see how it goes.
Ronnie is a great performer in his own right. Wrestler for a long time, and now he's got his son in there. So, and seems like a fine enough guy. Is just he can't compete on a hair level at all. So he's trying, but I mean that hairline's receding, pal.
He also had to dye. He had to dye his hair for this past match, so.
Yeah, and this is all natural, baby.
So, Hellfire, what is your closet look like? I know you see the awesome shirt you're wearing today. Is it like different colored jackets? Is it like Skittles? You push a button, you're like, I want to wear purple today, and you push the button, and it's like zzz, different layers of purple coats and stuff like that.
I should see about getting a randomizer on it because it is a pain. It is a pain digging through all that stuff. But the pink is definitely what I wear the most often. And that's just, due to Miami Mike's success. If it weren't for that, I might switch it up. I might have other clients, but he wears the pink and teal. And so I've been wearing pink and teal. And until such a time where Someone else that I'm associated with is more successful. The rest of the closet is more or less collecting dust.
I was just about to say too, like, oh, where the pink and teal came from, and then I realized, put two and two together, because I never noticed the colors on his uniform. My bad. So I
We
didn't
are a
know that.
unit.
You are, which is funny because when I first met Miami Mike, it was at a different promotion. So like obviously you weren't there. And so it was weird because coming to see him and seeing you as a manager, he like hinted that he had a manager, but not really. So I was like, who is this dude? Like, what? And then like I was like, okay, I get what he's doing. But I mean, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to get that money. So if
That's right.
Miami
I go
Mike
where
is
I'm needed,
successful,
and other than that, I'm busy. So, I can't be bothered.
oh boy, oh, I can't. But like, so you're strictly at MCW, or do you go to other things? Like, are you associated with anybody else?
Yeah, like I say, I'm off in scouting. I have managed in Delaware a little bit and in Pittsburgh as well. And those the Pittsburgh one didn't amount to much. Didn't work out. The payday was there, but that was kind of all that it was. And then Delaware, I get there every so often when they have a big show. And but other than that, yeah, it's mostly MCW, and they sort of travel around Maryland enough for me.
They do. There's so many places because like one time I was like I was at Joppa, then the other time I was like Hollywood, then Perryville. I was like, what is happening? But out of those, like, is there one that stands out that's like you like to be in like Hollywood, Perryville, Joppa? Like, is there one of those that stands out and you're like, I love performing here over the others?
I don't know if you can tell by looking at me, I'm not really like a small town guy. So the closer I can be to a big city, the happier I am in general. The closer I can be to a bar where there's not like an animal head hanging on the wall, that's where I want to be. Yeah, so probably Joppa, just because it's that much closer to the city. I will give the Hollywood venue props though, because it is a nice little fire hall. They got incredible chandeliers for a fire hall. And Perryville, I like the breweries, but that's just because it makes it easier to find a bar after the show.
No, I mean, I'm sure even like the manager has fans, right? So like, has there been a fan encounter that has like really touched your heart that you're like, oh my gosh, like thank you so much for coming up to me?
No, they've all been jerks.
Okay.
They're just now coming around to me, but before then, it was a lot of cursing, a lot of comments about my mother. And yeah, so we'll see how it goes from here. But yeah, not to this point, definitely not.
So
I mean, I have a fan. You have a fan right here. I'll always root for Hellfire. It's fine.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll see how it goes next time I run into you.
Yeah,
We're still middling on this one. We're still middling.
How far, like, when you travel, is it the local restaurants or is it the chain restaurants that you like to go to when you're on the road doing your traveling and stuff?
That's yeah, again, it depends on the town. If we're in the middle of nowhere, then a chain is probably the safest bet. The bigger cities, I like to hit the local spots, especially if they're nice. If there's a nice enough spot, I'll go. As far as chains, yeah, maybe I'll just pack a flask and go hungry and live off that. Yeah, because you get into some dingy places in this business, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Stuff I would.
Speaking of drinking, what is your drink of choice? Let's go there.
Ooh, all right, fair enough. I'm on a whiskey ginger kick right now, so that's what we have going. And whiskey's tough to beat, but as long as it's alcoholic, I'm a pretty happy person.
Okay, I mean, I get whiskey's a good one. I'm personally a Malibu Bay Breeze kind of girl. I love my fruity drinks, my mixed drinks, any mixed drink.
Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, hey, I'm going to Vegas like literally in 2 days, so like we're gonna party. I'm gonna party.
I'm gonna be seeing pictures of her on Snapchat, like,
oh god, it's gonna be so bad. But no, so Joe, what's your drink of choice while we're going around singing our drinks?
Me, when it comes, if I want to go easy, cool IPH on the menu of the bar I'm at, or if I really want to go get crunked up, I'll drink like a coconut rum and Coke kind of thing. Make it look cool. be like coconut rum. You gotta stir the ice when you say it, coconut rum.
Nothing
but
wrong with that. I've taken heat for fruity drinks before, but they're delicious, man. Like life is short. Drink something sweet.
Oh my gosh, my weakness that always gets me little buzz is green tea shots, because I will drink those like there's no other, and then I'll be like, "Ooh, I'm feeling something."
I love a good green tea shot.
But like, hey, I'm not. I've never been blacked out drunk, so I can say that. That's one thing.
You're missing out.
Well, Vegas is coming. We aren't there yet.
That's right. Careful where you mention my name. You'll either get VIP or get kicked out.
All right. Well, can you just let me know which ones I'll get kicked out of, because I won't go there.
I'll try to make you a list. Yeah.
You sending you a message, long message. You'll keep getting the dot. No, I'm not done yet. Dot. And be like that.
Well, I said in our last episode, I was like, okay, wait, I won't tell our viewers where I'm going until Hellfire's episode, because like Hellfire has a party all the time. Like, he's a partier. So like I had to bring that I was going to Vegas to party.
Yeah.
What better time? Yeah. I got friends at the Flamingo. I love that spot. That's kind of my home base whenever I'm in Vegas.
I think that you should find an independent wrestling company in Vegas and just do it.
That's not a bad idea.
Did you have an all women's one in Vegas? It's
yeah, but women's one. Are you calling Hellfire a woman?
No.
Oh, hey, oh. Look, you can manage whoever you like, man. It's 2023.
Yeah, it could be a women's, a manager, women's champion, women manager, women's tag team champions. UWW is your
UWW.
Yes.
Okay.
UWW.
Yeah, if it's making money, it's making me happy.
Jenny Santana is one of the owners. Tito Santana's daughter. Good person.
Oh, that's I should have a chat with her. Tito Santana punched me in the face once, and I'm still not over that.
When did this
we'd have
happen?
a good chat.
Let's
story time.
Story time.
That was some time ago. He didn't. So we had issues with we meaning me and Mike. We had issues with a wrestler named Angel Alvarado, and he had felt slighted in the previous encounter that Mike had with him. So for the next match, he decided to get some backup in the form of Hall of Famer Tito Santana, which hardly seems fair.
It's not fair.
Tito took offense to my being at ringside and trying to assist my client in being the best that he can be, and saw fit to punch me in the nose, which was not a lot of fun if you've ever been punched in the nose. So just multiply that by whatever factor Hall of Famer requires.
I mean, I've only been punched in the face by like a resident of mine, so I mean, and I saw stars.
It's not the same.
No, it's not. But like I'm telling you, I kid you not. Like I was like, ooh, I gotta step out the door, guys, because if not, this guy's gonna get punched right back. Like I gotta go.
I'll tell you, that Hall of Fame ring is it's weighty. It's weighty.
Oh, it was with the ring too. Like he didn't even bother.
I don't remember. My eyes were watering. It felt like it. It felt like
he got blessed. He got blessed in the face. Hall of Fame.
Is there a video of this somewhere? Because I would love to see this.
There is, unfortunately. And it's been sent to me a few times. It was from a Hollywood show a while back.
I
was in that venue because I remember staring up at the chandeliers.
I'm gonna come up with a new TikTok video now, just like
repeating terrific.
This.
It's got to be like the Grand Theft Auto, like. Dun, dun.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be like, you kidding me? No.
Don't do that. Don't do that to me. We're almost getting to a friendship level.
We went from going here to here, and now we're like, okay, let's
watch yourself.
It's like wavy in the middle. It's like we were like really up here.
Yeah.
Like the algorithms.
Listen,
and then
he has no issue with you. It's me right now that I'm walking on eggshells.
No, Sabrina's
Joe's
bar
been
was way
cool.
Up.
Joe's been great
the whole time. I feel like my bar is just killing it, just flying up like the
I always say, like, Joe, we talked about this in our first episode. Like, Joe, you're such a face. You are such a face in wrestling. Whereas, like, I am just such a heel. And I'm such a mean person. Like, it's just.
But I'm a face, but I have, like, the Sheldon Cooper one-liner, like, smart comments. I'll be like, you're my friend. but I swear to God, you smell like armpit. What? Nothing. Damn it, my microphone was on. That's like me. I'm like the stupid. I'm like the show Wallowitz. I'll be like, man, you're a nice girl, but your
They seem
girlfriend.
very likable to me. So again, this is a learning experience for me. So we'll see how the rest of this goes. But so far, so good. No
I
smoke,
will.
no problem.
I'm gonna, because I mean, Joe, you have not actually gotten a chance to see Hellfire in person, but it's funny because I actually, when I met him, I was like, I don't know about this guy, right? But everybody was like, oh, like Hellfire, he's a great guy. And then I saw you at a CZW show. You were incognito, and I was like, okay,
Just scouting. Just scouting.
yeah. I was like, oh, he's scouting. He kind of looks normal. Like he's not like completely like vibed out, but like he looks like he's nice. And then I finally got a chance to talk to you very recently, and I was like, okay, he's a cool person. So like Joe, I'm gonna promote him for a second. You should come to an MCW show, see him and his product, Mike. I'm gonna call him your product. I don't care.
I think Mike's gonna come running up
Client
to
is
me because
sort of the
you know
preferred.
how he likes me. So he's
Yeah,
coming up to me.
Mike likes him more than Mike actually tolerates me. So I don't.
I believe that.
It's gonna be like that the slow motion '80s field run. It's gonna be like, Joe, my God, you're gonna be like, ew. Serena will be sitting there going, you didn't give Joe a hug? You jumped in his arms? Jeez, like
I don't
really?
give hugs though either.
No, you'll be like this.
Yeah,
No,
like
you'll be Serena. No, you'll be stuck in the middle. You'll be like, get the sandwich.
I had this thing with hugs. This is a running thing. So like you would need to know this with being on our podcast is don't hug me because I will be like because like as a short person, tall people don't know how to hug short people. So it's like hi. It's like I don't no
Like
just
this,
give
or
me a
they'll do
handshake.
this. I've
Yeah,
had
no.
one of
I'd
the
rather come up
armpit.
with I'd rather come up with like a handshake or something. Like that's it.
Well, I'll tell you, the way this is going, there's little to no risk of a hug between us. So I wouldn't worry about
Cool.
it.
Neil Piper did
Maybe a
this to
high
me.
five.
Yes.
Maybe a high five.
I had a
Wash
Hall
your
of
hands.
Famer's daughter hug me like this, and I'm just like, good thing you're one of my guests on my podcast. But her husband, Damos, is right next to me, like, lift me, mommy, and spin me around. And just been like, smash. Oh, dang it. We broke him. I got
Now, do you like watch wrestling? Like, are you like, do you watch AEW, WWE? Like, is there one that you watch more than the other?
No. I've become sort of a student. Some people call themselves a student of the game. I consider myself more a student of the product. And I mean, if there's something that's getting buzz, there's something that's making headlines, then that's when I'll tune in.
I mean, fair, because that's how I was
Yeah.
when that's how I like. I don't keep up with it. I'd rather like honestly, I'll be like independent wrestling is I think how do I want to say this more exciting than watching guys on TV because like I come to these shows, I meet you guys like, and you guys are actual people. Like I can meet the people that I love in the ring, and it's a different vibe where it's like WWE. You can't meet John Cena. I mean, you could, but it's like
I
going
mean,
to
you
be like
could.
million. It's going to be a lot of money,
I could.
right? Okay, right?
No, but you're right. However,
Oh God.
the things on the big stage are the things making the most money. And if I was a less shrewd businessman, that's where I would have tried to go immediately. That's not what I was trying to do. I was trying to find a hidden gem on the indies on the come up. And that's what I've done. And it's completely worked out. And you will be seeing us on those TV shows in not too long.
Mm-hmm. It sounds
I mean, okay.
That's all you got? You're mouthy until now? Until I make a great point? Cool.
I mean, no, because like it's true because I know you had your issues with Andretti. I do. But
We're cool now. We're cool. We sorted it out.
I followed Andretti since I started coming back to wrestling. So I started coming back to wrestling in 2021. And me and Andretti, like as soon as I saw him, I was like, he's gonna be a big name. And now, like looking at him now, it's like, damn, like look at you. Like, look at what that product came to. And so I think that your product has the ability to go that far. I can't wait to see when that happens. But until then, I guess I just have to settle for rooting for Andretti.
It will, and I have no problem. If you asked me a couple weeks ago, this might have been different, but I have no problem saying now that Action Andretti is an incredible talent. He's been lovely recently, but and he's doing great things. And Miami Mike is right on his heels, though. So he better watch out. He better hold that spot.
No, I mean it's crazy because like I mean I saw when Miami Mike lost the TV title and I was like, well, this sucks because like he was doing so well with that title, but like honestly, I think losing that title and then getting the Shane Shamrock like honestly was the best thing that ever happened to him. And I'll say this, and he'll probably hear it because it's on a podcast. Miami Mike is going places. Like I see him on AEW. I see him on WWE. More AEW. I think that I feel like that's more like a toll that I could see him going down. And he's incredible in the ring. Like I love the whole. I'm gonna pull my knee brace, my little knee pad down, and knee him in the face. I love it. I just
Because
this is the only time I'll give him. This is the only time I'm gonna give him a compliment. So he better take it. Like that's it.
Look, I guess he'll take it. Not that he needs it, but he'll take it. Miami Mike, you say AEW, but there's no preference. I mean, it's whoever calls first. And then at that point, it's whoever offers the most money. So these people better get on him because before you know it, he's going to get scooped up in Hellfire McGuire with him.
So I keep asking Miami Mike, listen, I want to buy your merch. Come out with merch. And he's like, okay, I'll get some. And then he never does. So for this podcast, I was going to support him somehow. And I decided to support him. I would bring his teammates shirt onto the podcast because I've been waiting for Miami Mike merch for a while. And this is as close as I get. So that's it.
Well, we've had merch. You don't see the Miami Mike T-shirts. You don't see the 8x10s. The beautiful. You don't want his face on your wall because you can get that.
First of all, I don't want.
It's cost effective.
I don't want his face on my wall because like that's just creepy. Because like then like if I'm getting changed, it's like he's watching me. No, thank you.
He's not looking into the camera.
But it's still weird. It's still weird. Like I'd rather have like a shirt, cool. But like until then, I guess I have to settle for Vinny's top. So I guess.
Yeah, I mean nothing against Vinny. It's a lot of excellent talent in his own right. But the Miami Mike merch is coming, and the more shows, Joe. When you get down to a show, we'll hook you up with some nice new merch. Maybe a shot glass, maybe a T-shirt. You know, we'll get you something nice.
Wait, why is this just Joe?
Because me and Joe have been friendly so far, Sabrina. Joe knows when to talk and when to keep his mouth shut. You are going off like oh man. I see why Miami Mike had a problem with you. I was willing to give you the benefit of the doubt. This is spiraling.
Spiraling.
The ratings are now going down. The viewers are going up, but
it's all good. Joe, please ask some questions.
So, is there like any other like clients that you've been watching on the indie scene, either from like New York or from New Jersey or like anywhere in Maine or Maryland that you like been watching on YouTube or Instagram that you like really want to go to the show and be able to like teach them a little more?
Well, I'll tell you, I don't get on social media for wrestling a lot because that's where the money stops. You know, you can put a clip up on social media, but how much money are you making off of that? So I like to, as far as the scouting goes and as far as the looking at new talent goes, I like to just sort of see what hits my ears. Because that's where the buzz is. That's where the big money's going to be. So I have seen a handful of guys. There's, in New York, in Massachusetts, in PA also. But I'm going to keep those to myself if that's all the same to you.
Yeah, that's good.
Can't let these other managers that you are trying to get on this show have that yet.
Well, there's no other managers we're trying to get on the show because I already had them on my old show, and I don't want to. I don't want to redo it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to like bring them on just to be like, you still suck. You know.
So, Sprini, got anything else for our lovely guest tonight?
I do not. I don't know why. Like, I just giggled on that, but no, I do not.
That's all you got? I'm a wealth of knowledge. You want to learn things? You're talking to the right guy.
I got another one for you.
Hit
Do
me.
you have any stories from like your training or like what is like your normal like week of a show like? Like what does it entail?
Leading up to a show is ironically some of the calmest times that I have. Sort of depending what's going on, because at that point the match is booked, my job is done. All I have to do is go out there and make sure Miami Mike has what he needs to get his job done. Or whoever I'm representing at the time, be it Action Andretti, be it I managed King McBride one time, so whoever. Um, so as far as like a day to day, definitely a show week is different, but it's different because it's quiet. Once the show is over, then the buzz picks up, and then the phone starts ringing. So that's definitely the busier time for me. As far as you're looking for stories, I'm punched in the face by a Hall of Famer. What more content do you need, Joe?
Awesome.
However, so I want to go back to Dick Dynamo for a second because we brushed over him.
Sure.
But we didn't. I know it's the sore subject, but
it is a little.
So you said that he helped you out of a situation. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's right. So if you a few months ago, Miami Mike was doing a tour of Europe. You know, he was getting it done over there. The way our lifestyle works, the way our work relationship works, I had booked him on an extended leg of that tour, and then had a few cocktails and forgotten about it, and so had him double booked across the pond as well as in Maryland. And Dick Dynamo became available. He was able to fill that spot, and so I thought I would do what I could for his career, give him a shot. And he had success in that match. I'll give him that. But beyond that, it became more difficult to work with him. So yeah, that's more or less in the past.
I know, because I saw the promo that you did with Miami Mike. You guys were talking, and all of a sudden Dick Dynamo comes. I was like, "Where's my match?" Like I was like, "Okay, dude, like you're done. He's no longer managing you." Like so, it's like.
Well, you've been to these shows. I mean, he has a habit of showing up kind of wherever he wants to, and wherever you don't want him to. So, but you know, that's him. And did great work for me once ish. But yeah, he's on his own from here on out.
Yeah, no, he does definitely show up when you don't want him to, because like there's been plenty of shows, and I'm like, where did he even come from? Like he wasn't even on the card, nothing. Like, who are you?
That's right. We like the clubs, you know, we go out. I'm the man behind the velvet rope. I don't know if you've heard that. I don't know if you got it in the intro somewhere. You probably should. And he's someone you'd want to keep on the other side of that thing, and somehow he weasels his way in. So yeah, definitely one to watch out for better or worse.
I definitely like the velvet rope that you guys come out through. It's great. I love the asset.
It's a lifestyle, as Mike says.
Everyone wants to be like Mike. So no,
let him know.
But I remember one time seeing that velvet rope, and Mike was not supposed to, I think he was going against Techno, and he was not supposed to come out first. So they had to quickly set up the rope, and then the rope fell. Oh no, it was taking too long or something, and then he like pushed that away. Has there been any other like mishaps like that something happens and you're just like, okay, I gotta go around this or somehow?
No, that was the only one, and I'll tell you, that guy that security guy we had in charge of the velvet rope was fired immediately on the spot. If you watch the video closely, you can see me mouth the words, because he'll never work for us again. He'll never touch a velvet rope in his life. And he probably won't make any VIP lists after that. I mean, if you're terrible at the one thing you're supposed to do, how much further can you get?
It's funny because I do actually have that video on my phone.
Do you? Oh, that's convenient. I
recorded the entrance. Listen, I was recording everybody's entrance, and he was going against Techno, and Techno, like, I had to record that entrance. But Mike came out first, and I was like, okay. And I was like, I saw the mouthing of the words. I saw you're fired. So, but other than
I was under the impression I was here to talk about like the recent successes, the party. We've been nonstop partying for 2 weeks since the Shamrock Cup.
Right, Shamrock Cup. Now I need to know, what do you like? do you have stuff lined up to get your client even further up the pole?
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, without giving too much away,
right.
As far as MCW goes, there's really only one more step. I mean, we've done the TV championship, right? We've done the Shamrock Cup, and there's just one tier above that. And it's being held onto firmly by Robert Locke. So I'm not, it's not a spoiler because it's going to happen. There's only one place to go, and that place is up, and it's to the heavyweight title, and that has to be in our sights because the Shamrock title isn't defended until a year. It's an annual tournament, right? So there's one thing to do in the interim, and now that we're, like I say, this is my first appointment since we've been partying, and that's what we'll be looking at next. I'm positive.
Because I would love to see the 2 belts. You know what I mean?
Wouldn't that be nice?
Wouldn't that be nice? I would actually, because I haven't seen a wrestler yet with 2 belts on. Like, I haven't met one. So.
Oh, I see. You're just looking for the clout. You're looking for the rub. I understand.
Yeah,
I understand. I see what you're about.
All the time.
I held the PPW tag titles on both shoulders. They're not a light thing. I was like, no, Dad, I'm falling.
As a casual wrestling fan prior to like getting into this whole schmozzle, the belts are heavier than I thought. I didn't expect them to weigh that much, and I guess they're metal and leather, and that's maybe a flaw in judgment on my part, but I hear that a lot. I hear that a lot about the belts.
Now, before you got into this crazy business, did you growing up, did you that's what I want to do, or did this come later on in life that you were like, oh, I think I want to do this?
No, I've always had a soft spot for it. I think as far as there's a handful of things I'll say that sort of combine or join people together in a human experience, right? And I'm a bit of a world traveler. Not that you've asked any questions about that. Boo on you, Sabrina. But anywhere you go, there are people drinking and there are people partying, and that joins people together. And I love that, and that's why I got into the nightlife industry in the first place. Wrestling is a lot like that, and that sounds weird off the bat, but there's not a thing as far as expression goes or artistic pastimes or athletic pastimes that isn't present in wrestling. If you want it, they got it. It's drama, it's sci-fi, it's a story, and at the very heart of it, it's a fight. So I struggle with people who aren't attracted to it. I think they're just living an objectively worse life, an objectively less full life than Hellfire McGuire is by not appreciating what wrestling is. And on top of that, it's a great way to make money. And I wouldn't advise getting into it because then you'd have to contend with me and my client. But maybe years from now, when someone digs this podcast out of the archives, they'll be inspired to pick it up when I'm out of the game and retired on some island somewhere.
It'll have thousands of views, so it's gonna be top rated video I ever post on my on the Joe Panther variety show for years to come. And it's gonna be 1,000 more views than my last podcast and Sabrina's last podcast. So it's gonna be YouTube's gonna be giving us awards and giving you an award because we're gonna have the most views of all time in a wrestling content and video on YouTube. So,
well, it's about time they recognize.
Yes.
No, but it's true because a lot of people that are in this independent industry, I took a break from really coming to any shows, and that's personal reasons that I'm not comfortable sharing on the internet. So I took a break from the age of 20 to about 25, and in that time, I was thinking about wrestling. I was I wonder how the independent industry is going. But coming back into it, I was like, what? Why did I ever miss out on it? Because there's a story. If you can tell, I'm a huge storyline person. If you have how do I word this? Andretti had a match against someone in PPW, and leading up to it, they had these little matches where one would come in the other person's match and disrupt it. And it's a storyline leading up to this one big match, right? So that's my thing. I love the storyline, and if in the storyline in that final match, if you can go from the beginning to the end and telling a whole story, that is what intrigues me.
Certainly, and that's where the money is, because I've been looking at it, I've been watching, and that's, WWE didn't have anything going on until Roman and the Bloodline picked it up. And as that was honestly for me a big cue to get into this thing, because Paul Heyman is a terrific manager, and I probably should have mentioned him on that list before. Not that he was the only name I left out, but this is the biggest storyline in the world, and the world champion. So like, how do you get bigger than that? And he's got a man in his corner who's there. He's making the calls. He's the wise man, and he is wise. I've heard him speak. And so to have that, it just goes to show, like, all of these guys on the indies killing themselves doing flips and things, and not bothering to tell a story. You're missing the point, pal, because the point is money. The point is payday.
And I like the way that MCW does that too. Is like they have their YouTube channel that has like this documentary thing. Like Mike has one,
Have you seen it? It's terrific. Miami Mike Walker. It's a lifestyle. Beautiful.
I have seen it, and we'll put it down below.
Please do.
But no, it's a really good documentary. And I love watching these things, because it's like, not only are they kind of giving a backstory about like who they are, but like they're also like saying like where they are now, which is great. And it's kind of getting to know the wrestler, because like, yeah, we can see you guys in the ring, like it's cool, but like seeing where they came from, and like seeing, because he mentioned Miles Hawkins, and like how like he's a great competitor with him, and like, so I loved that, and I think that really ties into the whole like bringing it all together. Then who Mike is. You don't just be like, oh, he's just a face. You know what I mean? Like, okay, he has a story to him. Like every wrestler has a story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, all the greats. And I'll tell you, if Miles Hawkins had been cooler to me when I first showed up, looking around at MCW, poking around, maybe I'd be managing him. There's an alternate universe where it's Miles Hawkins and Hellfire McGuire. So
he wasn't cool. He wasn't nice to you?
No, we had problems. We had run-ins, definitely. And we've had run-ins since. I mean, I think we're getting cool now. I don't know. We'll see how this how this goes here on out. Like I'm saying, new leaf, everything's good, much better mood. I've been known to have a short temper, and I feel like that's going to take a backseat to just how thrilled I am with how much success we've had. But yeah, definitely at the time, Miami Mike was the cooler guy, and I saw more in him, and that's brought us to where we are today.
That Mike's getting high when people are making shirts for him, like.
Yeah, but see, that bothers me, because then they're not buying the shirts that I'm selling to them.
That's true, because then you're not getting money.
Right. Like, cool, that's nice. But if you were a real fan, you'd pay us.
Yep.
You'd pay us.
I think you should start paying for people to get photos with him.
So is it better for you
to
get money from at the show? Did they buy the shirt at the show? Or like go on like a pro wrestling tees and you have to get like a second hand, like you're not giving the guy the money. It's like RoboCop going, "Here's your money," like that.
Yeah. What did you it makes no difference to us. Look, we try to keep it fair. We understand, maybe you don't have cash on you at the time. That's fine. You can go online, and it's all the same margin to us. The same amount of cash hits Mike's pocket, hits my pocket. There's no difference. So, yeah, as long as you're actually buying the shirt and not screen printing your own wife beater with his face on it, yeah, we're happy. We're happy.
Yeah, no. And like when I see a shirt on there, I will get it. But until then, I'm a shirt girl. Okay. I don't want a shot glass. I don't want that. Like, I want to be able to
shot glass.
I just want to be a walking billboard and be like, guys, this product, like go see who this man's about.
No one is friendlier than when you're taking a shot with them. All right. I guarantee you're going to get more people talking to you about the shot glass than you walking down the street with a t-shirt. I'm not saying don't buy both. Actually, I am saying buy both.
Right. However, who cares about Mike shirts? When are we going to get Hellfire merch? Come on. Because that's putting money in your pocket as well. So like
it is. And I would have never thought of it prior to this last weekend, when it turned out that people were along for the ride. This is maybe that's part of the mood I'm in. Maybe that's part of the party we've been having is people seem like they're finally on board with Hellfire. They understand what I'm about and what I've been doing this whole time. It took them long enough, but if that's hey, better late than never, right? So you might see some Hellfire merch popping up soon. Actually, by the time this podcast drops, yeah, there'll probably be some out there.
Because, like, I mean, I don't know about you, Joe, but I personally don't care if Hellfire is like managing Mike, whoever you're managing. I'm gonna support you because I'm gonna put your money in your pocket. You know what I mean?
Okay. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's hit my ears now. There's buzz there, and that's something I'm gonna capitalize on. That's all I needed.
Is it gonna be Is it gonna be pink and teal?
Obviously, yeah, 100%.
Here we go. 80s pink or regular pink? Like
we like a hot pink, Joe.
there you
Like
go.
my shorts pink. Like
yeah, similar to that.
Give me heart kind
Maybe
of
less like cry for attention, but yeah.
Oh.
Okay. So we're on that level. Now we were good. We're doing good. We were doing good. What was happening?
You said you weren't going to buy my shot glass, Sabrina. That's the last straw.
I said I'd buy your merch, though, so I don't understand.
If any of our fans want to go buy some, like now, I don't know, the Sabrina fans on here are kind of booing. Stop booing. If they want to go buy your merch, where can they find it?
Sure. Easiest place is well, I'm big on Instagram. That's kind of the main thing. I'm on other stuff, but I don't use them near as often. So if you find me at Hellfire McGuire, no spaces. That's MCGUIRE. I know it's on there, but just for your illiterate listeners. There's links there to buy whatever you need. Miami Mike has the same one. That's at Miami_Mike_Walker. Yeah, you'll be able to find the merch, or of course, check us out at shows because we're out there. We are talking to people at a table's length away because some of y'all. But yeah, you'll find us. You will find us.
Awesome.
All
you want to do the send-off, Sabrina, or you want me to do it tonight?
I'm gonna let you do the send-off.
This is the first episode. Yeah, like let's.
Hellfire, I want to thank you guys. Thank you so much for coming in and being our very first guest on this fantastic journey with me and Sabrina and I. This is Joe Panther the Third.
This is Sabrina and
Hellfire McGuire.
Thank you. And we will be back. This will be up. What day is this going up again?
The 17th.
All right. And if you guys want to see anybody else on our podcast, just like put that down below. Obviously, we're open to suggestions. So whatever you have, put it down below.
Yep. And we will catch you backstage in the next one. Good night, everybody.